you want to set the right price for your digital product, or else it's not going to sell. How can they use your product? Make sure that you are understanding who you are selling to. What is up, everybody? Welcome to season 2 of Call Her Creator. I think we had a wonderful ride during season 1 talking about Instagram growth and my creator journey and how you can get started making money online, doing the things that you love. Call Her Creator is powered by Stan, and we are getting into season 2. So this season, I really want to focus on monetization. I know that there are so many of you out there that are trying to grow your account, struggling to do so, trying to make money, struggling with that. Then you're doing all kinds of things too in your outer life. So with this podcast, I am hoping that I can walk you through the baby steps that it takes to actually make money from your social media accounts. So for today's episode, to kick us off for season 2, we are going to be talking about how you can create your first digital product. So during today's episode, I'm going to walk you through the exact steps from start to finish on creating a digital product, how to come up with it, how to find your audience, how you should price it. Everything you need to know is going to be in this episode. Now, I want y'all to know that people pay good money for what I'm about to tell you, especially I know there's coaches out there that charge people, for a consultation to talk about this for an hour. So you are getting this information for free today. And I really hope you take advantage of all of this goodness I'm about to give you, because it is what I teach my students. It's like I said, what people pay for. So you are getting VIP treatment today to learn how to make money online. So in today's episode, I really want to start out with a bang. I think if you're really going to monetize, we need to talk about how to do that, how to create your offer. So I think it's important for me to brief you a little bit on my own personal story with monetization in case you missed last season. Of course, you can always go back to season number 1. I think it was episode 1, 2, or 3. I know it's not really helpful, but one of those, I really walked through my creator journey. So how I was starting with social media, how I got involved with Instagram, how I made my first $10,000 within the first 30 days of launching. So you can kind of get that as background. If you want to listen to that after this episode, I highly recommend it if you haven't already. But it was a magnificent experience for me. I never knew that I could make money launching a digital product. I mean, we always talk about, Shopify stores and physical products that you can buy, but who knew that you can make money with digital products? So whenever I talk to people about making money online, there's 2 ways that I really push people. One is selling your time, which we will talk about in the future in season 2. And I've talked about it before too, again, in season number 1, but we'll get really nitty gritty with it this season. But that's selling your time, coaching, consulting. But what is easier than that is digital products. You make a product, you set it up for sale, and then you kind of set it and forget it, and you make money while you sleep. It's passive income. Now, do I just set it and forget it? No, I'm pretty much going in there quarterly and beefing it up and updating it so that it's always evergreen. But we'll talk about that today during this episode. So let's see. With the launch of my digital product, I want y'all to understand, as a creator who is trying to monetize on social media, there's typically different tiers that you can offer. So for me, my signature offer as social marketing queen is my social media agency. We do done for you social media management. That's my high ticket offer. It's an investment. It's big ticket. Not everyone is willing to pay for it. So I knew I needed to come up with something that was more mid-level. Today I offer a couple of different digital products, a membership, a digital download. I've got a course, but for today's sake, we're going to focus on creating a digital download / offer. This is great for newbies, and it's even maybe you're a seasoned business owner and you've just never put something out like this. It's going to be great for you too, because it's going to help you add revenue to your portfolio. So without further ado, let's get in today's episode. Now, one caveat to that. If you are a first timer here, I'm Caitlin Rhodes. It's really nice to meet you. I'm really, really happy to have you. If you listen to today's episode and you like it, please go ahead and download the podcast. Leave me a review. That is the best way for us to measure the success of my show. And I really, really enjoy doing this. None of this costs you a dime. So if you want to support me in a little way, please go download this podcast. All right, so we are breaking down today's episode into 3 different parts because there's a lot to building a digital offer, how to research it, how to price it, all that goodness. So I'm going to break it down. I'm going to break it down for you guys so that it's easy for y'all to digest and understand. So today we'll talk about how to create your digital offer, and then we'll talk about how to price it so that you can make that money. So first and foremost, let's get into part 1, where you are finding the right digital product. So how do you know what's actually going to work, what's actually going to sell, what's actually going to make money? Well, there's a couple ways that you can figure all of that out. So first, you need to identify who is it that you even want to sell to. Okay, this is probably the hardest step out of all, but once you figure out who your target audience is, then you'll be able to find an offer that fits them well. So the best way to do this, I typically tell people, is to follow your passion. Like, what are you good at? What do you love? What makes you happy? What are some of your hobbies? Because sometimes you can really lean into helping people do something that you already love to do because you already know everything there is to know about it. So for the sake of today's episode, I'm going to use an example throughout so that you have like a real life example to fall back on. And today we're going to be a fitness creator, which I am not a fitness creator. Just so you guys know, I try to work out, but I don't get in there all the time. So this one's going to be fun for me, but I have some cool ideas, and any business niche can kind of take off from these examples that I'm going to give you. So first, let's just decide, we're a fitness creator. What can I offer my people? So real life example for you. You are a yoga teacher. You are a social media coach. You are a realtor. What is something that you could offer your audience? How do you even know what they want? So this is the fun part. Option 1 is to tap into your social media following. So we're just going to say you're on Instagram. We're going to use Instagram polls to find out what our audience is struggling with. So example tool is Instagram stories, the polls, or the question sticker, or you can even add a poll to your reel now. So you're going to ask for your audience feedback from stories or your reel. And then how are you going to execute on this? You are going to use these polls to ask quick questions and gather some feedback. Polls and question stickers are highly engaging and they provide immediate insight, which I love. So example poll questions that you could ask your audience. 1, remember this example is a fitness creator. 1, do you prefer home workouts or gym workouts? That's the poll sticker. It's 2 little questions. I'm asking if they want gym workouts or home workouts. That's going to help me identify if people are more so working out at home or they're going to the gym. Next little poll, I'm going to put like 3 different questions up for my audience on my stories. So that's the first question. Second question, would you be interested in a meal guide along with a workout plan? And then my answer there could be yes to meal guide, yes to workout plan, yes to both. Figure out what they're really looking for because they might only want one or the other. And then you don't have to do all the work for all of it. And then last question, are you more focused on weight loss or muscle gain? That's going to tell you if they're looking to lose weight or if they're really looking to build muscle. And then if you want to use the question sticker here, you can flat out ask, what is your biggest obstacle in staying consistent with your business routine? So you just put out these questions to your audience. You're going to let them ride for a little bit and get some answers, okay? Now, let me just say, if you're first starting out as a creator, you don't have a lot of followers, there's another way to do this, and we'll talk about it in a minute. But what you could do here is level up your engagement a little bit so that you're starting to give more engagement out to your community and you'll start getting people to engage with you. So then you can get people answering your polls and questions. That's a side note, not really something we're going to get into today about engagement. I have some episodes on that if you need it from season 1. But typically, if people are not getting any feedback on their polls, it's because they are not engaging with other people on Instagram. So you got to give to get. So remember that. Now, let's say you don't want to use polls. You want to go look at your past posts and see what's really worked well. So obviously you're going to have to do some posting before you can get to your social media insights. So say you're brand new, your first step here is going to be to post maybe for like 2 weeks minimum, but 30 days. Get some posts out there, post once a day, start seeing what people are liking, what are they engaging with, what's getting the most views. That's going to help you identify what people are resonating with so that you can sell something towards that. So your tools for this would be Instagram Insights or Facebook page insights. You can go in there and analyze your Instagram and Facebook post, understand the demographics of your audience. If you've got more males than females, understand their age, understand where they're at. And then you'll also be able to see like common themes, like maybe you post a lot about home workouts and you're noticing that those videos are getting more views and engagement versus you saying what you ate in a day. So that's something that you can test out. Now, you want to synthesize this information so that you can come up with a couple of offers. So you're going to look at your data. After you've posted your polls or after you've posted for 30 days, you're going to go look at the data. So first, insights from your polls. Majority of your audience struggles with finding time to work out and needs quick, effective home workouts. There's a strong interest in meals plans and beginner-friendly routines. So that's what we just gathered from the polls that I posted. I'm noticing that a majority of my audience struggles with finding time to work out. Now, let's say I use my social media to analyze this. I'm looking at my past posts. I can see that I have high engagement on posts related to home workouts and healthy recipes. That's indicating that there's a demand for comprehensive fitness guides that include both workout routines and nutritional advice. They're wanting workout and nutrition, okay? So based on your research here, based on our polls, based on our social media posts, we can understand that our audience is in need of workout ideas from home, meal plans, or maybe beginner-friendly workouts and guides. So let's back this up a little bit because, again, I told you guys, not everyone's gonna get a response from their polls. And if that's you, I want you to know that there are other ways to find your audience. If you don't wanna post for 30 days, if you cannot wait to do that, then what you can do is you can go look at your competitors in the industry. You can analyze their social media. You can kind of scope out what their posts are about, who are they targeting, what's the engagement like on that, are they getting comments, are they getting feedback, what gaps in the market can you fill out? Maybe you're seeing a lot of your competitors are doing this one thing, so you see that there's a need for this other thing. So again, if you don't have the data, if you don't have the polls, if you don't have the social media posts, go ahead and do industry research or competitor analysis. I guess they kind of one in one. All right, so we're going to pretend that we analyzed the polls and the posts that we shared. And after going through all of that information, I've decided that I'm going to create a digital PDF guide that serves busy women who are struggling with their fitness and nutrition. One, that's what I'm passionate about. Two, I want to help women. Like you might look into your demographics and see, I don't know, maybe you're equal between men and women. So in that case, you can, if you want to narrow it down to just women because you're more comfortable that way, that's totally fine. If you want to just narrow it down to men because you're more comfortable that way, that's fine too. So you, at the end of the day, get to choose kind of who you're talking to. So I've got my PDF guide. I'm going to title it 30-Day Home Fitness and Nutrition Guide for Busy Women. Easy, to the point. You can understand what you're going to get if you buy that. So the PDF that I'm making after doing some competitors research and seeing what was out there, I'm going to have this PDF guide that's kind of like this bundle of things. So you're going to have workouts, quick little workouts that you can do from home with minimal equipment, meal plans that are easy to follow because we've got women who are on the go, and then motivational tips too, because they need strategies to stay consistent and motivated throughout my program. So your first step in creating your digital offer is done. You have validated your idea by confirming that there is a need for your niche, and you found and researched your audience and their struggles. So you decided on a product that could solve some of their problems, and you even chose a name. So look at all you've done. Be very proud of yourself because this is going to be processes. Remember processes. Now, if you need some help creating like a good title for your guide, you can always go to ChatGPT, just kind of fill him in on some context of what you're doing, what you're offering, what it's going to have, and he can give you some cool title ideas. I have used him more than once to help me name an offer before because I'm just not that creative with names sometimes. So don't feel bad to go into ChatGPT and ask him for help there. Okay, so now we're moving on to step number 2. You've got your idea. Now we're going to actually create this product. This is where a lot of people get stuck. They have this wonderful idea, but they don't execute on it. So this is your sign, ladies and gentlemen. Go create whatever you've been thinking about creating. It's time. It's easy. I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do it. So the best way for you to get started is to start. Bet you didn't know I was going to say that. So start jotting down your notes, create a little outline, going over what all information you want to give them. Remember, we had kind of gone over that you were going to give workouts, meal plans, and motivational tips. So you can kind of outline your little piece of paper or maybe a Google document with all of your ideas there. We need to understand what are the pain points that our audience has and how we are going to solve them, because when it comes to promoting this product, you're going to have to talk about those pain points and solve their problem. So outline it all. I like to use Google Docs, but if you're better at putting your ideas to paper, by all means, grab your notebook. Outline it all. And then again, this is where ChatGPT comes in. So you've got your outline done. Now you could take that outline and go pop it into ChatGPT and just kind of say like, hey, I'm writing this PDF guide for busy women. Here's my outline. Can you help me put together like a full-on guide for these women? Now, keep in mind, ChatGPT cannot create your entire product because people will know that ChatGPT created that entire product. So you have to put you inside of your offer. There are things that you know as the expert, as the person who's passionate about it, that ChatGPT is not going to be able to talk about. So once you've got your content in line, you've written it all down, everything that you're going to include inside of this offer, you're going to put it into ChatGPT. Then ChatGPT is going to write something out for you. Then you're going to copy what ChatGPT says and paste it into a brand new Google document. Once you have that new Google document, that's when you're going to go in and put in your own flair. You might want to remove some things that you don't agree with, because sometimes ChatGPT says stuff that we don't even agree with. So you really need to go in there and proof what it's saying, make sure that you understand it, make sure that you agree with it, and really get your content all together. And then the next step there is to proof it. This is a step that a lot of people skip out on, and it can hurt your credibility, guys, if you are not proofing your product. So once you have your copy together, I want you to proofread it yourself. I want you to give it to a colleague or a friend. I want you to send it to your grandmother. And then I want you to put it back into ChatGPT and ask him to proof and edit it for you as well. It 1000% turns me off when I buy something and there are spelling errors. Like, I spent time buying your product and you didn't even have the audacity to proof it. So you need to make sure that you are going in there and really making sure this is a legitimate offer, okay? It's not just something you threw together. You actually went through and edited it and it's good to go. Okay, so your content is ready to go. Now it's time to think about, how are you going to illustrate this content? How are you going to provide it to your audience? I personally love using Canva because they have a ton of templates that they literally get you started. So like if you go into Canva and you type in like fitness guide, it will show you a bunch of different templates that are different vibes. Like there might be like the cool girl aesthetic, there might be like the manly aesthetic, whatever it is you're going through, there's a lot of templates that it will give you. And then you can click on one and start really making it your own. Now, it's important for you to brand your offering with your own brand colors, your own fonts, your own photos. So if you are brand new to this and you don't have a brand kit, let's just pump the brakes for a bit and let me walk you through how to do that. So I personally love using Pinterest to help me with branding inspiration. That's how I built influence, really, was going over to Pinterest. So you can head on over to Pinterest, kind of type in what your vibes are, and then put the word branding behind it and kind of see what pops up. If you don't want to use Pinterest, you can also go to Canva. Canva has like kind of ready-made brands that you can pick from. It's really just like color palettes and font combos. So, either or, Pinterest, Canva, whichever you want to do, but pick one that matches your vibe, that really will portray your brand. And you're going to want to use that, now and for the future. Because one thing about branding is it helps people to identify you. Like, you start to pop out because they get used to that branding and they know like, oh, this is one of Caitlin's products because it's got the black, white, and red and funky stuff that she's got going on. I guess that's the only way to call my brand is funky. I'm working on a rebrand right now for Social Marketing Queen. Side note, I really love Call Her Creators branding. I made that up all on my own from looking at Pinterest, kind of going, I knew I wanted like a funky vibe. So I think I went into Pinterest and typed in like funky vibe branding, truly. And so I was seeing like lime greens and fuchsia pinks and all that. I ended up choosing like lime green, navy, and a pink color. I wanted to, there's some people out there that are like, oh, I just want to attract women. So they'll go full on girly branding. But I knew that I wanted to, like, I knew my main audience would be women, but I didn't want to single out my men either, because if you're a man listening to my podcast, like, I praise you for being here and listening to me and taking my advice. And